This video is inspired from one of my popular videos, Ego is Not the Enemy, in which I criticize Ryan Holiday's book, Ego is the Enemy, and I make the case that ego is not only not your enemy, it is your greatest asset, and you have to embrace it if you want to make it in life. Now, this made me think about the real enemy. If ego is not the enemy, then what is the real enemy? Well, if you think about it, the real enemy that stops you from achieving your goals and values is not your ego, it is perfectionism. Perfect is the enemy, and I'm going to tell you why. When you are a perfectionist, you don't even start your projects. You start to think too much about details and problems that you might encounter when you start, forgetting that you haven't even started the fucking project. Now, I'm saying this because I've experienced it myself many times. And even if you start the project, you start to postpone producing it and publishing it and putting it out in the real world because you want to make it perfect. You want to tweak this stuff. You want to change this. You want to do it again. You want to keep tweaking it and changing it forever until it loses its relevance. Again, I'm saying this because I'm speaking from experience and I did exactly that. One of the most ambitious projects that I've done that I wanted to do in my life was many years ago, back in 2008, 2009. I was still in high school. I was around 15 years old. I've watched a lot of magic. I've watched David Blaine, Chris Angel, Cyril Takayama. I've watched all these street magicians, and I wanted to create the first street magic special in Morocco. And so I went out, I started filming videos with strangers in the streets in Morocco, something that was completely foreign in Morocco. Nobody had done it. Nobody had done the kind of tricks I was doing. And so I did eventually made some videos and I created a trailer and I did post it on Facebook and YouTube. And they got a lot of attention. The trailer that I posted at the time got a lot of attention. It made me famous. A lot of people were curious about the project. But what happened was that I was trying to create the perfect magic special, street magic special. And so I was obsessing about details. I was obsessing about things that I couldn't really do because I was just a high school student and I was just making videos with my friend, with strangers in the street, forgetting that David Blaine and Chris Angel and Cyril Takayama and all these big names, they had an entire fucking team with them, helping them to create those magic specials. And so I was trying to compare myself to those people. And I was being such a perfectionist that I would obsess over tiny little fucking details to the point where I was postponing my projects all the fucking time. And it just lost its relevance. Nobody cared anymore. I lost the incentive to finish it. Everybody forgot about it. And it just, it just evaporated into nothingness. So this episode in my life, I remember it all the time. And I always remind myself that it was perfectionism that stops me from producing that magic special. It was perfectionism that stopped me from finishing that project, which could have been one of my biggest projects in my life. And so now I learned my lesson and I decided to fight perfectionism with every fiber of my being. And I came up with this, let's call it a concept that I call imperfect action. Now, what is imperfect action? Imperfect action is how I approach every project that I try to do right now. So what is imperfect action? Imperfect action is you're going to start your projects with imperfect action, literally. You're just going to start with achievable results, achievable goals. So you're going to have a goal. Now you have a project and you're going to chop it up into little tasks and goals. And you're going to start to work on those goals and make them happen in the real world. Stop thinking about problems that you might encounter down the road when you are in like the final phase of your project, think about now. Think about now. I usually talk shit about a high time preference, but in this particular instance, you should really think about now. You should have high time preference. Think about what you can do right now. So have a short-term goal, start working on it. And when you work on your short-term goal, make sure that the product that you produce, the work that you do is good. It shouldn't be bad. It shouldn't be perfect. It should be just good. Don't try to make it perfect. Don't try to obsess over tiny little details. Just make it good and then move on to the next step, to the next task, to the next achievable goal. And you should act fast. Okay? When you start your project, act fast. Always take action as fast as you can. Take action, achieve the small goal, put your work out there in the real world, get feedback from the audience, get feedback from your clients, get feedback from the real world, and then iterate based on that feedback. That's how you can progress. That's how you can improve your work. That's how you can improve your skills. That's how you can improve your project. If you just keep thinking all the fucking time, if you just keep tweaking, if you just keep trying to make it perfect, if you just keep postponing your project because it doesn't align or it doesn't match your high standards, you're not going to produce anything. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to have any real life tangible results because you're going to be stuck in your head thinking about problems you do not even have yet because you haven't even started. So perfectionism is the enemy. Perfect is the enemy. Ditch perfectionism. Now, I have to warn you, I'm not saying don't strive towards perfection. No, that's not what I'm saying. You should always strive to create perfect things, because we all know no such thing is perfect. There is nothing. Perfection doesn't exist, but it's an ideal that we should strive for. Okay, there's a difference between having an ideal that you want to strive for and being a perfectionist, being someone who wants to create something perfect, and someone who wouldn't even take the first step if he knows he's not going to make something perfect. I've always suffered from this. I've always thought to myself, if I can't do it perfectly, why bother? And that's literally how you will become a loser, quite frankly. Because if you don't do anything, you're not going to have any. Think about it. There are a lot of people who've made a lot of money, who are famous, and if you look at their work, it's anything but perfect. It's not even good sometimes. A lot of famous, successful people, financially speaking, in terms of fame and money and social recognition, many of them, their work sucks, to be honest. But they achieved social recognition, they achieved financial success, they achieved recognition. Why? Because they put their work out there, because they are not perfectionists, because they don't think too much. And so, yeah, perfect is the enemy, and the hammer with which you can shatter perfectionism is called imperfect action. Embrace imperfect action, kill, destroy imperfectionism within you, and that way you can achieve your goals, you can achieve your values, you can have real life tangible results. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, you need to go watch my video called Ego is Not the Enemy, which is the inspiration for this video. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. If you have a perfectionist friend, send him this video because I think he would gain value from it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to watch more of my stuff, subscribe, like my comment, and see you on the next one. Take care.